What's going on, everybody? Some huge announcements for the record label that I want to share with you in this video. There's some pretty crazy stuff up for pre-order that you should consider getting, and I'm going to tell you a little bit about both projects. End of the video, I'll also share with you some updates about my most recent project, which is unfortunately still in limbo. But let's talk about the exciting stuff first. I am absolutely honored to be a part of a reissue project of a long out-of-print hard rock record from Spokane, Washington. Released in 1979, Doc Rocket's self-titled record was a tour de force of epic hard rock stylings from a power trio. And this record got a lot of excitement and buzz back when it came out, but it was on a small label that folded not too long after the label signed them and pressed the record. And because of that, this record has become somewhat of a lost relic. Now, I love hard rock. I'm a huge fan of late 70s, early 80s kind of proto-metal stuff. And this record blew me away when I first heard it. The way I first heard it was because I bought a collection from somebody who owned it. Now, when I went to their collection, there were 200 records. I knew most of them. There was a lot of good Bowie, a lot of good Joni Mitchell records, you know, things that are great for the shop. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to buy this whole collection. They told me how much they were looking for the collection. It seemed fair based on what was there, and I bought it. Upon bringing it to the store, I was going through it with more of a fine-tooth comb, and I pulled this out. This record appealed to me because it had this crazy shiny cover, and I was like, this is cool art. I don't know what this is. I'm going to give it a listen, because sometimes you just got to hear it. It speaks to you. This record blew me away. It is so catchy. It is so crunchy. It is so song-to-song brilliant throughout. The fact that this was not a larger record at the time is absolutely devastating. And I think a lot of people tend to agree, because if you go on Discogs and you look at what's currently available as well as the sales history, this record, which many of you may not know, goes for hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of dollars in the aftermarket if you can even find a copy. There's so few that exist. So when I first heard this, I was like, man, wouldn't it be cool to reissue this record? But I didn't really have any way to reissue it. Enter Northwest Metalworks. James Beach has become a friend of mine through being in this industry in Portland, and he is responsible for being a historian of the metal and hard rock scene, especially in the PNW. He's written books on it. He's written biographies of some of the more important bands in the scene, and he is an endless font of knowledge when it comes to this scene. So when I approached him one day, I was like, hey, do you know this Doc Rocket record? He was like, oh yeah, of course I know that record. I was like, we should collaborate on maybe making this happen as a reissue, because I bet you people will be stoked to be able to have a chance to actually own this on vinyl. He was all in, and he happened to have a connection to the band. So with some negotiation with the band, a lot of back and forth via email, all really fun to talk to them and their manager and everything. They said they've been approached before, but nothing ever really came to fruition. They granted us the rights to reissue this for the first time on vinyl. And we wanted to do it as authentically as possible to the OG, with the same cover art, kind of like a silver stock for the jacket to kind of match this amazing foil that they did for the original. Some of them were on just white, but I prefer the foil personally. And it's going to be coming out soon, like records in hand in September, ideally. So there's a pre-order up right now. You can grab your copy should you want one. If you like hard rock, I definitely think you should give this a listen. This album is stellar. Like I said, it is a true gem, and that's why it commands such a high price for such a relatively unknown band. There's going to be CDs for the first time. There's going to be black vinyl, and of course, there's going to be the TMR signature splatter. All of these limited, probably just a one-time run. I'm assuming there's not going to be a repress of this, but you never know. But what's also very exciting is this marks the first ever collaboration with a gentleman that you may know. Let me throw it to him.
Hey guys, Dylan from Noble Records. Excited to have a guest spot on Matt from Too Many Records YouTube channel. Thrilled to be here. I'm a longtime viewer and watcher and adorer of Matt. He's a very good man. But this is why we're here, Doc Rocket. I've got the white cover. I think he has like the metallic silver cover. Really amazing, all killer, no filler, thriller, start to finish, hard rock. Amazing. Just an incredible record. And we have been talking about doing something together for a long time, and this was just the perfect thing for us to do together because it's local to him and he really likes the record and it's right up my alley. The stuff I like to do is exclusives. So we're both doing it. We're going to have a silver vinyl version over at our place. And yeah, I'm just super thrilled that Matt would involve me in this process. I know it's been close to his heart, and he's had a good time working with the band and all that stuff. So thank you, Matt, for involving us. We couldn't be more excited about this incredible reissue coming out. But this thing is a wild ride, and you guys are gonna love it. So buy it.
So stoked to be finally working with Dylan on a project. It's been a long time coming. He's been a friend for a long time. I admire his label. He's been putting out some crazy, crazy reissues of really lost stuff that he's bringing into the light, and this is no different. So I'm really excited that he was down to be a part of this project, and I think it's really special that he is part of the people that are going to help get this into the ears of the masses in a big way, because this band deserves it. Everyone's super nice that I spoke to, and yeah, this is just a really cool project for me. The first record on my label that is going to be from, you know, the 70s, which is wild. And also to reissue such a grail is just such a cool feeling. So if you'd like to get a copy, I'd pre-order it now, because if they sell out, they sell out. But I think this is something that a lot of people are going to really dig. Also worth mentioning, when you're at my big cartel, I did a project with Northwest Metalworks before this for a band called Lipstick. If you haven't grabbed this, I would give this a listen if you're into glam metal. Another short-lived band from the Seattle scene back in the early 80s. Really, really good hard rock, glam rock if you're a fan of like Motley Crue, YNT. This stuff is great. This is a mixture of studio tracks, demos, and also some live stuff. Really, really good. I mean, look at these guys. Come on. You can see my logo there on the bottom too, which is rad. So if you like that kind of stuff, some copies of this are still available as well. Of course, on that signature TMR splatter. Second project, also up for pre-order right now, is a project that I am so excited to collaborate with this person. He is so funny. He is so talented. I'm proud to call him a friend. This might only be recognizable for younger members of the TMR community, but hear me out. There was a show on Nickelodeon a little after my time called Big Time Rush. It was about a boy band. And there was a character called Gustavo in the show who was this kind of like larger-than-life personality music manager. And Gustavo was played by my friend, Stephen Kramer Glickman. He got a ton of accolades and acclaim for that role because it was so memorable. But in addition to his comedy and acting chops, the dude has the voice of an angel. Literally the pipes of an angel. And you might recognize him without realizing it for his cover of Gnarls Barkley's Crazy, which went so viral on TikTok, it hit like the top 5 of the charts for most used sounds a couple months ago. It was actually crazy how much traction it got. But that's because he has an amazing voice. And we were talking one day, he was saying that he wanted to do a cover of one of the most popular Big Time Rush songs, Paralyzed, and he wanted to do it in kind of like an emo rock kind of vibe, that just appeals to me on so many levels, as you all know. And I said, dude, you should let me release a 7-inch of this. We'll do it up the best way I know how. And he was like, let's go.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's me, Stephen Kramer Glickman, aka Gustavo Rock from Big Time Rush. Yo, what's up, everybody? I just wanted to say I am super honored. It is a massive privilege in my life that I'm getting to work with Too Many Records to release my cover of Paralyzed, which is a Big Time Rush song. So it's super exciting for us, and we're doing 300 that are all going to be autographed by me, and I'm like beyond excited to be working with such a cool and amazing record label. Hell yeah, dog! Woohoo!
We're doing a 7-inch run, 300 copies, hand-numbered and signed by SKG himself. The art is done by Mario, who is an amazing artist. Check his stuff out as well. I'll link to it in the description below. And also, we're working with Wax Mage. There's going to be a Wax Mage lottery, 25 total copies. Every copy that is purchased of the standard has a chance to purchase one of the 25 Wax Mages that are coming out. So this is going to be an incredible release. The song is amazing. You can listen to it now on streaming services. You can pre-order the record, and I highly recommend doing so. SKG has a pretty big fan base, and if you're considering it, I feel like this won't last for too long. The song is so catchy and so good, and if you like pop punk, emo rock, or if you like him from, you know, Big Time Rush, or any of the combination of the above, or if you're just a fan of the TMR label and you want to be a completionist, definitely do our first official 7-inch. We did have the lathe cut back in the day, but that's just for the OGs. A lot of you probably don't even know that exists, but there is a lathe cut 7-inch. This is the first official pressed 7-inch on the label, and I can't thank Steven enough for trusting me to do this and knock it out of the park. Oh, also, there's a really good etching on one side of the 7-inch that I won't spoil for you, but if you were a fan of Big Time Rush, you will greatly appreciate it. So these two projects are happening concurrently. They're coming out at the same time by chance, and they're both something I'm very excited to do. Pretty high profile stuff for the label. Usually I'm working with just artists I love, and some of them bigger than others, but mostly just artists that I want to help get their music onto vinyl. These two projects are just massive in different ways. So I hope that you'll consider supporting them and grabbing a copy for your collection. As for my last Too Many Records released before this, Goose Don't Be Frightened, What Now? As some of you know, if you've been on my live streams, I've talked about it. Unfortunately, Crates, who we've worked with for years and years, has decided to go almost completely silent, screw over hundreds of artists that were pressing records through them. They keep pushing off the timeline as to when these records will be finished. We received test pressings for Goose. We have not received the artwork proof approval yet. We have not heard a timeline on when they're shipping, and they keep pushing it off over and over with very little communication. For all intents and purposes, it seems like they are going bankrupt or they are no longer going to function as a company, and I don't know what to do about it. I'm kind of caught in this moment of, do we give up on the project, start trying to reach out to banks and trying to explain the situation? I have a lot of money tied up in the project, so does the artist. Everyone who ordered a copy or two, you guys have money tied up in it as well. So I'm not sure what to do yet. If you follow my Instagram, I'm going to make a decision at the beginning of next month as to if we're going to keep waiting or if we're going to say Crates is done and we're just going to try to get our money back. It's past the 180-day frame for PayPal, unfortunately. But that being said, I think there's probably enough complaints on their account that if we did try to talk to PayPal and get money back, I think they might look at this and be like, oh, this company is a big red flag, and maybe honor a one-time exception. We will see. But not the best news to end the video on, but I had to give an update because I know a lot of you supported that project. It's devastating for me because Matt and Laura are two of my closest friends, and their music is beautiful, and I would love for everyone to have this record on vinyl, but not sure what's happening because Crates has decided to just take the low road and not really honor their promises or communicate about them. So TBD on all of that. Stay tuned. Like I said on Instagram, I'll share some stuff early next month. But that being said, let's focus on the positive for now. Doc Rocket, first ever reissue, Holy Grail hard rock record, available now in the description. Stephen Kramer Glickman cover of Paralyzed from Big Time Rush, available now. Check them out below, give them a listen, add them to your collection, and I'm super excited for these projects to be in the world. So thanks y'all for watching this update. I really appreciate your time. If you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, please feel free to do so. If you want to see more vinyl content, I do have some fun stuff in the works. And with that being said, there'll be more coming soon. Take it easy.